Welcome to my channel. This is the horoscope for the full moon happening in the sign of Cancer. So let's get started. A full moon is a point of completions, endings, things coming to a close, emotional release. Full moons can feel emotionally charged up because the moon, our emotions, and the sun, our soul, are in opposition. That's what a full moon is, a point of completion, ending, emotional release. This one's in the sign of Cancer at about 5 degrees. Cancer, generally speaking, represents our emotions. It's a water sign. It represents our inner world. It represents our safe space, our home, our family, what's close to us, what nourishes us. So on a general broader level, these themes can be highlighted, right? Maybe a need to feel safe, to feel comforted, to nourish ourselves, to feel good about ourselves, to take care of our emotional needs. These are the broad themes. More important is where Cancer is in your personal charts, which house, and that's where this energy will impact you. So if you know your charts, look for 4 degrees of Cancer, whichever house it falls in, and that's where this energy will play out for you. So let's talk about the aspects that are going on with this moon. Now, there are two important aspects that I want to speak about. The first is that the moon is in a positive aspect with Jupiter. And the sun is also, right? 60-degree angle with the moon, 120-degree angle with the sun, and the sun is just building up its trine to Jupiter on the moon, and the moon is also going to make an exact 60-degree angle few moments after the exact full moon point, right? And Jupiter brings blessings, it brings rewards, it brings lessons, it's the planet of knowledge, it brings opportunities. So generally speaking, this could be a big theme with this moon, something we might be learning, an opportunity might be coming our way. But Jupiter, generally speaking, is a positive planet, and these are positive aspects. So opportunities, blessings, gifts, lessons, and Jupiter will go direct few days after this moon, and Jupiter has been retrograde for some time now, and when it goes direct, things associated with Jupiter such as blessings, rewards, gifts, lessons start to show up more in our lives. So overall, this is a positive aspect that this can bring an opportunity in our lives. The second thing I want to talk about is that the moon is making an aspect to Saturn as well. Moon, Saturn, trine, right? Now, that being said, the sun has already made its 60-degree angle with Saturn by the time it reaches this moon point, and so has the moon. What that means is that we felt this energy already. What is this energy? Saturn is decisions, it's discipline, it's dedication, it's hard work, it's planning for the long run, it's setting things in stone, it's structures, it's making something real, right? Making something real. Now, why I'm saying the sun and the moon have already aspected Saturn is because by the time we reach this full moon point, we've already done that work. We've done that work of planning something, or working hard at something, of deciding things, of committing to things. It might not be as evident right now, and we still might be confused, and I'll explain why in a moment, but we have already started the groundwork couple days before this moon, right? A few days before this moon, because the sun did make a 60-degree angle with Saturn, and so did the moon before this. So while there's an opportunity there, we are also working very hard. We're also planning for the future. We're also trying to take this opportunity, this blessing, this reward, this lesson, and make something real, make something concrete, set something in stone, right? Plan for the long run. So that work is going on. And why I say we might be still a little confused is because if you recall on the last moon video, which was the new moon in Sagittarius, which was at 20 degrees, it was in a square to Neptune, right? And right now we have Mercury in a square to Neptune, and Mercury is retrograde. When Mercury is retrograde, logical faculties tend to slow down a little bit. It's not the best time for brand new marketing, communication related projects. It's not the best time to do something absolutely new in these areas. That being said, it is a great time to go back to projects that we might have started but somehow not completed. Go back to something, review it, and make it better. Why we might be confused is Mercury here is squaring Neptune, right? Neptune is the planet of confusion. It can bring this uncertainty. It can bring this fogginess. So right now, if you look at the chart, 25, it's intense on this moon. And Mars is also building up its square to Neptune. That's Mars and that's Neptune. You can see both of them are making a 90-degree angle with Neptune, and this can be confusion, this can be uncertainty. So while there are opportunities, while doors are opening, while we are learning lessons, learning new things, while we are also working very hard and planning in a way, we still might not be fully certain about those things. But that's a short-lived thing, right? Mars will square Neptune and move on, and Mercury will go direct beginning of the year, but on 9th of January, it will make its final square to Neptune. So what that means is that yes, we're working and we should continue working, and by 9th of January, the confusion will start to ease off. That being said, with Jupiter going direct December 29th and Mercury going direct Jan 1st, it will be a forward-moving start to the new year. However, if you still feel an inkling of doubt, if you still feel uncertain as to what these opportunities are, what we are working on, what we are deciding, whether it's completely right, then that confusion should clear by the 9th, because Mercury will make its final pass in its direct motion with Neptune. So to sum it up so far, blessings, gifts, rewards, lessons, opportunities coming our way. We are working hard towards those. We are deciding. We are trying to make these opportunities real in our lives. But there is uncertainty, which is short-lived, which will clear out. So that's the positive in that. That being said, let's talk about Venus a little bit. Venus has just finished its positive aspect with Neptune. Venus, Neptune, right? 120-degree angle in water signs. Venus is the planet of beauty, love, relationships, finances, and Neptune is creative. Neptune is going with the flow. So this can generally feel a very creative sort of energy. Now Venus has moved on to 26, Neptune is at 25, so now we're at the end of that energy. But building up to the moon, we might have felt creative, we might have felt our relationships are easier, right? And easier because we are going with the flow in a way. So that's with Venus. Venus did go through some stressful aspects, right? I believe December 21st, around then, it did oppose Uranus, right? Venus was here, it did oppose Uranus. A week before this moon, you can say, and Venus and Uranus can feel a little sudden. It has this sudden energy to it. It has this, Uranus is a very overwhelming sort of energy. It's overwhelming, it's sudden, it can bring things unexpectedly, and Venus is love, relationships, finances, projects, right? So it can bring up these sudden things connected to these matters in our lives, to our relationships, projects, all these things. But we've been through that energy by now. Venus has already tried Neptune, creative, go with the flow, great energy for just taking things as they come, right? So that's also happening, a lot happening on this moon. And let me just clean up the chart. And there's one more thing I want to speak about, and that's the fact that we have the North Node Rahu at 22 degrees, right, on this moon. And Mars just trined it. Mercury is making that aspect, although not exact. And Rahu, the North Node, represents the future. It's where we are headed. So this is a positive aspect. So while these opportunities are showing up and we are working very hard towards those, while we may still be a little confused, all this is putting us on the path for the future, right? All this is putting us on the path for the future. So that's something I wanted to mention. And one more thing I want to mention is with Mercury and Mercury and Mars, right? Mercury is retrograde, Mars is sitting right next to it. And Mars is the planet of action. It's the planet of taking initiative. It's also the planet of anger and aggression. Mercury is communication, and it's retrograde. So a couple of things to watch out for with this moon. One would be aggressive communication, angry communication, internalizing anger, right? Mercury retrograde conjunct Mars. So these are the things to watch out for. And since Sag is a fire sign and Mars is also a very fiery planet, right? trying to maybe slow down our impulses in terms of maybe communicating aggressively, that might be a good thing around this moon. Even taking action impulsively, right? We don't want to be impulsive. We don't want to take initiative, take action like Mars right now. We want to be Saturn, slow, steady, planned, thinking for the future, thinking of the consequences, and then taking this opportunity, Jupiter. Not, yeah, let's do this. No, especially because Mercury is retrograde. So these were some of the aspects I wanted to speak about. Now let me see if I missed out on anything important, and I think that sums it up so far. So to sum it up, once again, opportunities can show up, right? Lessons can show up, but we need to think and act on those opportunities with a long-term perspective, with a commitment, without being impulsive, watching out for angry communication, impulsive communication, or internalized anger might be a good thing around this moon. Whatever it is that's showing up, whatever opportunities, whatever we are deciding, it's to align us with our future path. And confusion might still be there. That being said, it is getting over. Mercury is going direct, so is Jupiter. Forward moving start to the year, and with Mercury making its final square to Neptune Jan 9th, that's when any remnants of uncertainty and confusion will be fully done with. So that's what's going on with Western tropical astrology. Now let's just take a moment to talk about Vedic astrology. And in Vedic astrology, energies are a little bit behind. They're about 23 to 24 degrees behind, right? And in Vedic astrology, this moon is in the sign of Gemini. More importantly, it's in the nakshatra of Ardra. Nakshatras are smaller divisions of a sign with their own ruler, own meaning, own significance, own interpretation. It's like a mini sign, right? Ardra is a nakshatra ruled by Rahu, the north node. Ardra in Vedic astrology is a very unstable nakshatra. It's a very stormy nakshatra. With planets in Ardra, things feel unsettled, things feel uncertain, right? So that energy is there with us even in Vedic astrology, where things may feel unsettled, things may feel uncertain, and it's also a very emotional nakshatra. Where we start to feel unsettled in Ardra is through our emotions, right? And this is in Western, in the sign of Cancer, water sign, emotions. So and Neptune's also there, right? So what I'm trying to say is, in Vedic, this can be a little unsettling for our emotions, but the key here is to find balance in our emotions, to not be uncertain and work on ourselves, to work on that storm within ourselves, right? Because Ardra is the nakshatra of storms as well. So the storm within us is what we need to kind of calm down. So that's in Vedic astrology. Now, for this moon, the North Node is pretty much on my moon. I have a 22 degrees Aries moon. The North Node is there, right? And my Sun is at 24 degrees of Sag, where we have Mars and Mercury retrograde and the square to Neptune. So let's see what happens with this one. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was useful, and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.